All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the Minnesota Vikings. They have won 3 out of their last 4. They have won 2 straight. They rattled off a home victory against one of the best teams, not only in the NFC, but in the NFL, the San Francisco 49ers, this past Monday. And if you guys have been paying attention to just, national media and how this team is being covered right now in the last 2 days, honestly, how they've been covered all season, we're hearing trade Kirk Cousins. Not a Super Bowl team, buy low, sell high. We know how it's going to end. You're going to get outworked by Philly. You're going to get outworked by Dallas. You're going to get outworked by San Francisco, which is just kind of funny as if, that Monday game didn't happen. I'm thinking to myself, first off, nobody knew that Kirk Cousins had a no trade clause until they won this past Monday night. And everybody was like, this is, they won 13 games last season. Kirk Cousins is having one hell of a season. He had one hell of a game, buy low, sell high. Vikings fans don't want Kirk Cousins to be traded. Kirk Cousins doesn't want to be traded. Nobody in Minnesota sports wants Kirk Cousins to be traded. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, guys, first off, I'm a Green Bay freaking Packers fan. So, this is no biasy here. I'm watching the baseball game last night. Arizona Diamondbacks in the World Series. I'm a Chicago Cubs fan. We didn't even make the playoffs, but I was thinking to myself 2 months ago, anything can happen. That's sports right there. Anything can happen, man. That's like the purpose of sports. Every team has the same chance. Now, rosters, money, things do go into it, big market, whatever it is, free agency, trades, GM competency, all that, owner competency. There's so many things obviously that go into it, but people just give up, man. The Minnesota Vikings won 13 games. We're going to talk about this in today's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Vikings fans, it feels great to be back making Minnesota Vikings content. Really slow, brutal start to the season. I think what a lot of people don't understand is there's a lot of turnover on this team, especially with the coordinator positions. You've got a new OC, you've got a new DC. Things take time, and they were just making silly, stupid errors, like specifically fumbles, whatever it was. It wasn't completely dysfunctional. It was just like shooting yourself in the foot, just stupid mistakes. And when I was watching these games, and I still have the same take, the NFC North is going to come down to Minnesota versus Detroit. Whoever wins those series, whoever wins those games will win the North. But at the end of the day, both of them are 2 10-win teams. Now, obviously, this is an Alliance video. This isn't an Arizona Diamondbacks video, but the point still stands. If it's just so funny to me, man. If the Vikings didn't believe in Kirk Cousins, which, by the way, here's a fun fact. Kirk Cousins this season, 68.9 completion percent. He's throwing for 294 yards per game. He has 16 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. And against the best defense, guys, San Francisco is the best defense in the National Football League, all right? Or at least it was widely known heading into that Monday Night Football game. Don't listen to what people are saying now. I mean, they're giving up 15 points a game. They're the best defense in the league, all right? I will wholeheartedly fully agree or fully believe that comment that I'm saying. 35 of 45, 378 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Without wide receiver 1, Justin Jefferson. Without an 1,800-yard receiver. Without wide receiver 1, super freaking star Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins absolutely torched the best defense in the National Football League. Absolutely torched them. Is this team perfect? No, absolutely not. They're 4th to last in rushing. We need to see that change, but that's why they went out and they acquired Cam Akers. The point is, the Minnesota Vikings are winning 10 football games. And this is always so funny to me because a team will start 0-3, right? And they'll win 10 plus games. But the end of the season, they'll be on fire. They'll win. Let's say the Minnesota Vikings win their last 6 football games. Think last season, Cincinnati Bengals, what they go 3-4 and then they won out, or 4-3 and won out, whatever it was. It's just so funny how by the end of the season, once playoff time comes in and the Minnesota Vikings are sitting here at let's say 11-6, nobody's going to go back and think in the first 3 games of the season when Minnesota was 0-3 and be like, well, I would think Minnesota has a shot because they're in the playoffs and they do have a shot, but they started with 3 straight losses, blah, blah, blah. I want to end hot. I don't want to start hot and fizzle. I don't want to be 17-0. I don't even want to be 16-1, 15-2, whatever it is. I would rather start 0-3 and win like my final 3 games than start 3-0 and lose my final 3 games. Football and sports in general is just a game of momentum. But what we saw last week, and honestly, if you're a Vikings fan, you've been seeing flashes of this throughout the first 6 games of the season, but now it was on full display. It was on Monday Night Football. It was, all of America who's a football fan was watching this game. His name's Jordan Addison. They selected Jordan Addison out of USC in the first round for a very specific reason, to pair him up with your weapons in Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson. And no, we're not going to forget about KJ Osborne, who, when Justin comes back, is honestly, to me, a perfect complementary wide receiver 3. Justin Jefferson's injured, so Jordan Addison stole the show. 7 catches, 123 yards, including the long of 60, the touchdown run of 60, or catch of 60, whatever. 2 touchdowns. I mean, he was all over it. Jordan Addison against the best defense in the league. Obviously, Kirk Cousins, the offensive line did a phenomenal job of holding up in this 2-game winning streak. I know, or 3 out of their last 4 wins. I know, 2 of them have been against the Bears and the Panthers. The offensive line has definitely been improving, and people seem to forget every single season that, it takes, because of the way, because preseason was condensed to 3 games, and because this regular season is now 18 weeks and now you play 17 regular season games, you see so much benching of starters in the preseason. So by the time the regular season comes around, regardless of, honestly, if you're playing 4 preseason games or 3 preseason games, your offensive line, it's the spine of your offense, man. It takes time to build. It takes time for these guys to get the timing, the chemistry, all of that good stuff. It just genuinely takes time. So no, Minnesota's not perfect. Their offensive line isn't perfect. Their defensive line isn't perfect. Their rush game isn't perfect. But at the end of the day, this was a phenomenal statement win. And this is a huge momentum builder. And I hate the narrative when you look at their next 5 games. Green Bay this upcoming weekend against my cheeseheads, the Atlanta Falcons, the New Orleans Saints, the Denver Broncos, the Chicago Bears. I would not be surprised if they won all 5 of those games, and at that point would have a 7-game win streak heading into your bye week. Minnesota, like I said, they're winning 10 games this season. I hate the narrative where it's like, they're going to rattle off all these wins, but they're going up against bad QBs. The Vikings don't pick their damn schedule, man. Cry me a river. All these excuses to me are just so genuinely funny. When I look at Minnesota and I'm thinking to myself, obviously, NFC North or no NFC North champion, whatever it is, they're going to make the playoffs. And at the end of the day, they have Kirk Cousins, a competent QB. They have talent. They have skill at the running game, or the running back position. And then I have the best wide receiver in the league in Justin Jefferson. I have TJ Hawkinson. I have KJ Osborne. And now I've got an emerging rookie star in Jordan Addison. Why am I selling? What is the purpose of selling? So I can rebuild, maybe hit on a quarterback? Maybe hit on a quarterback? I mean, come on, guys. The Minnesota Vikings are way too good to have a top 10 pick, regardless of JJ's playing or not. That's really all I have, guys. Just a little bit of a rant here on Wednesday afternoon. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. If you want more Vikings videos, well, too bad. I'm going to do it anyways. But guys, let me know what you're thinking about this Minnesota Vikings team right now down below. Thanks for watching. Peace.